Very good morning all of you. Today we are going to discuss in the chapter number 23, probability. This is our last chapter in our syllabus. See, what do you mean by probability? Probability means the chance of occurrence. Chance means before happening that we can say what is going to happen or which all things are going to happen. For an example, you see this coin. Okay, we know that a coin is having two sides, head and a tail, is it? So two sides, head and a tail. So when we are tossing a coin, before tossing the coin, we can say what is going to come. That is, either it is a head or it is a tail. So before happening one activity, we know what is the result going to happen, or we can predict what is the result going to happen. Is it? This is known as an experiment. So what is the experiment we are considering in our probability? Experiment means an operation which can produce some well-defined outcomes is called an experiment. Well-defined means already we know what is the outcome going to happen or what is the result going to happen. Outcome means the result going to happen in the experiment. So when we are tossing a coin, two results can possible there. One is head, another one is tail. Both we know, already we know that either head or tail is going to get, is it? So that is what is known as well-defined outcomes. Now, each outcome is called an event. So, in the experiment of tossing a coin, head is an event and tail is also an event. So, each outcome is called an event. Now, what do you mean by random experiment? An experiment in which all possible outcomes are known and the exact outcome cannot be predicted in advance is called a random experiment. We can take the same example of tossing a coin. When we are tossing a coin, before tossing the coin, we know what is the results are there. Is it? Either it is a head or it is a tail. But can you be sure that it is a head or tail? That we cannot say. We cannot predict in advance. The exact outcome we cannot predict in advance. We can predict the results in advance, but we cannot predict the exact outcome in advance. This type of experiments are known as random experiment. Once again, we can see what I mean by random experiment. An experiment in which all possible outcomes are known. They are known, and the exact outcome cannot be predicted in advance. Is called a random experiment. Okay. Now, next term is trial. By a trial, we mean performing a random experiment. If you are tossing a coin one time, that is a trial. If you are tossing the same coin for another time, that is another trial. So, how many times we are doing this experiment? That one is known as trial. Okay. Now, we can see another example. So now we have discussed the example of a tossing of a coin, is it? Now we are going to see another example. That is the throwing a dice. See, in a dice, how many faces are there? 6 faces are there. In each face, you can see one number is there. 1, 2, 3, up to 6. One numbers are marked over there, is it? So when we are throwing a die, we know that when we are throwing a die, from 1 to 6, any one number will come. That is sure, is it? That is, we can predict the outcomes or result of this experiment. Either 1 will get, or 5 will get, 4 will get, 6 will get, 2 will get, like that. That we can predict. But we don't know what is the exact number going to get. Is it? We cannot predict which is the exact result or exact outcome going to get, is it? So this is an example for a random experiment. So first example is tossing of a coin. The second example is throwing a die. Another example is throwing two coins. Suppose two coins are there in your hand. Okay, we can toss these two coins at a time. So what all result can come here? A chance is when we are throwing two dice, one chance is we can predict in advance, that is both the coins can get head. Okay, both of these coins can get head. Another chance is first coin is head, second coin is tail. It can happen, isn't it? Another is first one is head, first one is tail, second one is head. That also can happen. And another one is first one is tail, second one is also tail. So these are the possible result, isn't it? We don't know which one is going to happen exactly, but these are the possible result can happen. So we are writing all the result in a set. You can see there is a curly bracket. In curly bracket we have written that result. Both the coins can be head, both the coins can be tail. First coin head, second coin tail. First coin tail, second coin head. So these are the four possible outcomes are there, is it? So that possible outcomes we have written in a set. Similarly, for throwing of a dice also, which are the possible outcomes there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Any of these numbers can come. So the possible outcomes are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now let's see what I mean by empirical probability. Suppose we make n trials of an experiment, then the probability of occurrence of an event, event is representing by the letter E, is defined as P of E is equal to number of trials in which E occurs divided by total number of trials. I will explain what is this. All of you listen. I'm going to toss this coin for 5 times. Okay. So my number of trials is 5. So first time I'm getting tail. Is it? Second time I'm getting head. And third outcome again tail. Now again I'm tossing this coin. It is head. Again I'm tossing this coin. Again it is head. 5 times I tossed this coin. These are the result I obtained. 3 times head came, 2 times tail came. Okay. Now we can see what I mean by this empirical formula. Listen, I already told you E, capital E represent event. Event means here this is an event, another event, another event. So each outcome we are calling as an event. Okay. So here we got 5 events. Here we are considering the event as outcome is a head. Here we are considering the event as outcome is a head. Then what is our P of E? Probability of occurring an event. What is our event here? Outcome is head. So P means probability. Probability of E, which means probability of occurrence of this particular event. What is that? Number of trials in which E occurs. Number of trials in which E occurs divided by total number of trials. Here our E means outcome is head. How many times outcome become head? 1, 2, 3. Is it? So here we can write 3. Total number of trials. Which is the total number of trials here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So by our empirical formula, the probability of happening this event is equal to 3 by 5. Now let's discuss questions from our exercise. Question number 1. A coin is tossed 300 times and we get head 136 times and tail 164 times. When a coin is tossed at random, what is the probability of getting a head, second one a tail? Okay. Listen, here the total number of trials is 300, is it? Number of times a head obtained is equal to 136 and number of times a tail obtained is equal to 164, is it? So by our empirical formula, here probability of getting a head, that is number of times head is obtained divided by total number of trial, is it? What is the number of times head is obtained? That is 136. What is the total number of trials? That is 300. Okay, so 136 divided by 300. When we are cancelling, we will get the answer 34 by 75. Similarly, we can find for tail. Probability of getting a tail. Number of times tail is obtained divided by total number of trials. How many times tail is obtained? 164. Total number of trials 300. So 164 divided by 300, that is 41 by 75. Listen question number 2. Two coins are tossed simultaneously 200 times and we get two heads 58 times, one head 83 times, 0 head 59 times. Okay. When 0 head means that can be tail and tail only. When two coins are tossed at a random, what is the probability of getting two heads? Second one head, third one 0 head. Let's see. Here the total number of trials is given. That is, what is that? 200. Number of times two heads are obtained. What is number of times two heads obtained? 58. Number of times one head is obtained. What is that? 83. Number of times no head is obtained, that is 59. So now by using our empirical formula, easily we can find the answer. Probability of getting two heads. First we have to find what is the probability of getting two heads. Okay, that is number of times two heads have been obtained divided by total number of trials. How many times two heads obtained? 58. Total number of trials? 200. So 58 by 200. Okay, which is equal to 29 by 100. Second one, probability of getting one head. Number of times one head has been obtained divided by total number of trials, which is equal to 83 by 200. Third one, probability of getting 0 heads. That is number of times head has not been obtained divided by total number of trials. That is 59 by 200. Clear now? See question number 3. A die is thrown 100 times and the outcomes are noted as given below. Outcomes are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And which are the frequency? Frequency means how many times 1 came. When we are throwing the dice, die is throwing for 100 times. How many times 1 came, how many times 2 came, how many times 3 came, like that. So 1 came for 21 times. 2 for 14 times, 3 18 times, 4 15 times, 5 23 times and 6 9 times. And what we have to do here, when the die is thrown at random, what is the probability of getting a? First one 3, second one 6, third one 4 and fourth one 1. Okay. Now you listen. The total number of trials is equal to 100. Is it? Number of times 3 is obtained is equal to 18. Is it? Number of times 6 is obtained 9. Number of times 4 is obtained 15. Number of times 1 is obtained 21. Now we can find the probability. First one, probability of getting a 3. How many times 3 came here? Number of times 3 obtained divided by total number of trials. 3 obtained for 18 times. So 18 by 100, which is equal to 9 by 50. Second one, probability of getting a number 6. Okay. Total number of times 6 is obtained. How many times 6 obtained? 9 times. Number of trials, total number of trials is equal to 100. So 9 by 100. There is no common factors to cancel. So 9 by 100 is the answer. Third one, probability of getting a 4. Number of times 4 is obtained divided by total number of trials. That is 15 by 100, which is equal to 3 by 20. Last one is probability of getting a number 1. Number of times 1 is obtained divided by total number of trials. 1 is obtained for 21 times, so 21 divided by 100. Question number 4 is, in a survey of 100 ladies, it was found that 36 like coffee while 64 dislike it. Out of these ladies, one is chosen at random. Okay. Then what is the probability that the chosen lady, the first one is likes coffee, second one is dislike coffee. So when we are adding 36 and 64, we will get 100 only, is it? So 36 likes coffee and 64 dislike coffee. So we can find the probability. First of all, we can write the total number of ladies survived is equal to 100. Ladies who like coffee, 36. Ladies who do not like coffee, 64. Now the first probability. Probability of choosing a lady who likes coffee. That is number of ladies who likes coffee divided by total number of ladies. That is 36 by 100. You can cancel the common factors. It will be 9 by 25. Second one is probability of choosing a lady who dislikes coffee. Number of ladies who dislike coffee divided by total number of ladies, which is equal to 64 by 100, and that is equal to 16 by 25.